Alright, it's FrOzenSwipe here, and I've got another sniping gameplay. This time it's going to be a game of Domination on Fallen. And again, much like with the first sniping gameplay that you've, I'm sure plenty of you have seen, it's not going to be the best score in the world, but it is going to be, you know, it's decent enough. Like, not the best kill death or anything, but considering I'm only using non-lethal kill streaks, you know, all my kills are going to be with either my sniper rifle or my secondary. There is also a regular gun that I pick up, you know, and I get a couple of kills with that. I'm sure that's probably going to be enough for people to absolutely crucify me in the comments for doing so, but I don't really get that. I don't really see why people they care so much that I picked up a regular gun at some stage, when, you know, say if I were to say it was like a gameplay with the ACR and I pick up an MP7 or something when I run out of ammo. You know, no one would complain about that, but yet when you're sniping, you know, if you claim it to be a sniping gameplay, they want all the kills to be with a sniper, you know. I can kind of see where they're coming from, but I mean, you don't impose these sort of standards on normal gameplays with regular guns, so I don't see why you should do it with snipers. It really doesn't make too much sense. But anyway, this isn't going to be the Q&A, just in case you're wondering. I'm kind of holding out. I was tempted to do the Q&A at this stage, but I was kind of holding out for people to, you know, give me a few more cues for me to A. So, if you have any more questions like you want me to answer, feel free to leave them in the comments. You know, they don't necessarily have to be about myself. You can just ask me my opinion on something. It can be funny, it can be serious, it can be random as fuck. I really don't mind. You know, if you keep it lighthearted, then obviously, yeah, that's great. That's probably better than, you know, just a bunch of serious questions. If you can get one or two like lighthearted questions in there, that'll be grand. So yeah, I am definitely planning to do the Q&A at some stage. I'll probably do it maybe Sunday or the day after maybe, but we'll see how it goes. I may not put it up until like midway during next week or so, but yeah, so if you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments of this video. And what I really want to talk about in this video is Domination and how it's kind of changed in Modern Warfare 2. And I personally feel Domination isn't as fun as it is in Black Ops, and I felt this for a while, but I couldn't really tell why. I had no idea why Domination just didn't, you know, it didn't make me play the objective as much as it did in Black Ops, and I was really struggling to figure out why this was. I just could not put my finger on it, and then it was only recently that I realized it was the map design, and more specifically the flag layouts. If you look in Modern Warfare 3, you'll see that most of the flag layouts tend to be in a triangular formation, whereas in Black Ops most of them tend to be in a linear lineout. So I mean, you know, in terms of a linear lineout, you have one team that will spawn at A, and they'll obviously capture A at the very start of the game. You'll have one team that will spawn at C, and you'll capture that at the very start of the game, and then B is just like smack in the middle of the map, and if you want to control the map, if you want to win, you have to control B. Whereas in a triangular setup, you know what it is. It's the three flags obviously make like 3 points of a triangle, so like each of them have their own separate area, and personally I feel it's not as fun as a linear flag layout. And this is only something I realized recently, because I mean, if you look at it, most of the maps in Modern Warfare 3 have this triangular setup, and most of the maps in Black Ops have a linear setup. And I much prefer the linear setup for one very simple reason. You know, B is smack in the middle, and I mean, if you want to capture B, you have really got to fight for it. I just speed a couple of bits up because, you know, this gameplay kind of drags out a little bit, and there wasn't really a lot going on. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. You wanted to capture B, you had to have map control. You had to literally push the other team back into their spawn if you wanted even a hope of capturing B. And I mean, like, it was way out in the open. You really had to go for it. And if you didn't play the objective, what would happen was the other team, they'd cap their home flag, whether that be A or C, and they're going to cap B, and they're just going to pin you back in your spawn. So I mean, you are just going to get absolutely destroyed if you don't at least make an effort to play the objective. And that's what I like about Black Ops. And it's weird because this is more of an incentive to play the objective than the fact that capping flags will add to your point streak. But then again, I really don't think that, you know, 1 point is enough for a flag cap. And I'm glad to hear that in the next Call of Duty game, you know, I know everyone's kind of dubbing this as Black Ops 2, But in the next COD game, they're going to make it so that if you get like half a flag cap, you get 1 point, and then when you capture the flag, you get another point. So you can get like 2 points for capturing a flag, which I feel is much more reasonable. And I mean, hell, if it's even like a really exposed B domination flag, like a really critical flag capture like that, here I completely fail on a potential montage clip. But if it's a really crucial flag capture, I think that should nearly be 3 points, because if you've ever tried to capture B on maps like, say, I'm trying to think of a few in Black Ops, like Summit, or like, what other B flags are really exposed? WMD, that B flag is really exposed. There are loads of spots where you can get picked off. You know, really exposed B flags like that, you should maybe even get 3 points, because that's a lot harder to get than getting a kill. Okay, I think we can all agree capturing a flag is a lot harder than, you know, just getting a kill. And it's because that, you know, there's not really that much of an incentive to do it in a triangular game, in a triangular flag setup. Which is what I'm trying to say. Oh god. Because I mean, there's no real central area where everyone flocks to, that everyone tries to control. You just kind of end up chasing the other person's tail. This you can see a lot in Resistance, which is if you know that map, it's a triangular flag setup. There's like the central area is pretty much useless. No one ever goes in there, despite the fact it has loads of cover and, you know, it's a good vantage spot. No one uses that route a lot. You kind of it's all the engagements tend to happen around the outside of the map, and the middle of the map is pretty much wasted. So I feel it's not as, you know, it's not as fun in that regard. Like there's no big push for a particular flag or anything like that. You just kind of end up chasing your tail, because if in a linear flag setup you control Bravo, you control the map. In a triangular flag setup, you control Bravo, you control Bravo. You don't control the map. So I mean, it's very easy for a team to capture Bravo, and then the other team to just go, oh fuck that, we'll just have A and C and we'll spawn trap you at Bravo. Whereas, you know, in a linear flag setup, this generally wouldn't tend to happen because of the way the flags are laid out. You know, I mean, there's no way you can hold on to A and C because they're at very opposite ends of the map. So I mean, it's really hard to spawn trap a team at B. It's a lot easier to spawn trap them at either A or C. And, you know, I mean, you can see that a lot in maps in Modern Warfare 2. Like Dome, it's a really easy one to get spawn trapped at B. You can also kind of get spawn trapped at B in Bootleg, and, you know, a few other maps like that. Personally, I would love to see in the next Call of Duty game, whatever they decide to call it. I'm not going to call it Black Ops 2 because I really doubt the Treyarch will call it that. But I'd love to see more game, you know, the maps tailored more towards Domination, because it is easily the most played playlist. I think it's probably the most played playlist behind Team Deathmatch. I think maybe Free For All might be third, and then Search and Destroy. So I mean, a lot of people play Domination, so I think they should really focus on making the maps, tailoring the maps for Domination and putting them in a linear flag setup, because it's just so much more fun to play than it is in a triangular flag setup. And I only really came across this when I was playing with my friends, and when I tend to play with friends, I tend to play really objective oriented, because I really want to show that, you know, I'm not just a kill whore, and that I actually care about winning the game. So you know, I was kind of thinking of maybe doing some sort of open lobby at some stage. I'm not sure if you guys would be into it, but it would only be on PlayStation if I were to do it, because I don't have an Xbox. So for you Xbox guys, I'm sorry, but it's just not financially worth getting an Xbox. I'd rather get like a HD PVR or something like that before I get an Xbox, and, you know, getting a load of games for it. So if I were to do an open lobby, it would only be with PlayStation users, and it would probably just be like 6v6 Domination, maybe even some Team Tactical or something like that. So if you feel that you'd be down for a some sort of open lobby or something like that, you know, feel free to let me know in the comments or anything like that. And also remember to give me your questions for the Q&A. They can be as a comment. You can leave them as a comment or as a private message or anything. I really don't mind. But yeah, this has been FrOzenSwipe. Hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching.